Kilo, this is not even a debut. This is a reintroduction.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So how was it leading into this? Because a bit of backstory, I'm not sure how much you had actually shared, but initially you had a bit of an injury, stopped deadlifting for a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you already shared that?
Not really. So I said that, for the World Games prep, my body was just in shambles, essentially. So my best squat for the World Games prep was 240, and it was hard. And my best deadlift was 260. And I missed like 270, and I missed like a triple with 250. I think it didn't happen in years. So essentially, yeah, I was like in August, I was really like rock bottom. Couldn't properly squat. And sometimes for deadlifts, it was taking me like 4 seconds to just break the floor with a bar, just for my body to accept the pain, quote unquote. So yeah, that moment I was really, really down.
So you pull out, and we were talking about earlier in the year as a 66 at Sheffield. Quick turnaround, and you did, what was your total there? 690?
697, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you at the time, that was a total that you were not happy with. Obviously, you've done more as a 66. And within the same year coming into this, it wasn't the turnaround. How much turnaround did you have from when you decided, I'm no longer 66, I'm going 74? First off, what kind of turnaround
2
was
months.
that? 2 months.
Yeah.
And then you had a bit of an injury with your lower back that affected your deadlift.
Yeah, mostly. Like, it did affect my squat, but my squat recovered much more and much better than my deadlift. Like, on some training sessions where I was doing, like, SBD, I was squatting more than I was deadlifting, which, like, everybody knows me. Like, I think at Sheffield, I squatted 240, like, not this year, the year prior, and I deadlifted 290.
Yeah.
So I had a 50 kilo gap. Like, I would say 40, 35, 40 to be fair. But on some sessions, I was squatting more than I was deadlifting. And I was like, oh, okay, then
We got a problem.
Something's off. Something's off.
So when you're coming into this one, you only had 2 months as a 74.
Yeah.
You weighed in slightly less than 74, so getting there, but
Yeah.
not fully there. How was the back by the time the day rolled?
My back was, so it started to be 100% like 3-4 weeks ago on deadlifts. On squats, it's been a bit more, like 7 weeks, I would say, a bit less, but yeah, 5-6 weeks, and deadlift like 3-4. That my back was good. I did pull like 295 in training some weeks ago, which was hard, but felt pretty decent, pretty comfortable. But yeah, definitely it had been a moment that I didn't pull anything above 290 in the gym. Even with that 295 pull, it was my best pull for maybe almost a year, I would say.
So the conditioning was low on deadlift.
Oh yeah. And also there are like some variations that really help a lot my deadlift, but because my back wasn't 100%, I didn't want to do them because I felt that I really needed to just get reaccustomed to deadlifts. So my technique was also a bit off, I would say, because of that.
So what was your, not only that, so you're holding the meat. There's a couple things working against you. You're holding a meat, you have to drive 8 hours, and there's a lot of work to do. However, and you have other people that just get to show up and lift, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
However, if you're not going to do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
So you got to step up. We could talk about the series you're putting together, Ireland, Switzerland. I heard you say Quebec.
Yeah, that would be
maybe
awesome.
not 2026, but heard you say Quebec,
Yeah.
Canada, which would be nice in North America.
Yeah.
So coming into the day, what were your expectations?
So, I never shy away from my expectations, and I've always set high expectations for myself, and I will continue to do so. Because in my opinion, it's easy to set low expectations and always make them. And you're like, oh, I did what I said I was going to do. Yeah, but if you say you're going to do something like easy for you, then in my opinion, there's no value in it.
Right.
So I'll be honest, I expected at least 760, at least. But obviously with like leaving 20 kilos on my squat, I knew that 760 would be very, very hard, if not almost impossible, I would say. So yeah, so that was my expectations. But on top of any like total expectation, I just wanted to experience something different. Because you saw me during some weight cuts, I would come to the meet like feeling pretty beat up, and here I was feeling extremely strong. Like, I don't think I like squatted 3 times in a meet, like making all of my lifts like I did yesterday. So yeah, so now obviously I had some depth issues. I still need to get used to my quote-unquote new leverages, and also getting accustomed to those weights that are much bigger than what I used to squat like even a month and a half ago. But yeah, I had higher expectations than what I did, to be 100% transparent.
That was probably the biggest for you, was like leading into this, there was no crazy hero cuts.
Yeah.
There was no, like the night before probably was leisure for you.
Yeah.
Like how did it feel to know like I'm competing tomorrow, I don't got a cut, I'm eating, nothing.
It
like
felt
you wake
weird.
up that day, just whatever I want to eat.
Yeah,
Like,
it felt weird. I'll be
Yeah.
honest, it felt weird because it's been almost 7 years that every meet that I do, almost I weight cut, etc., etc. So it did feel weird, to be 100% honest also. But it felt good. It felt good.
And another thing, so this is your first competition as a 74. And you're going to weigh in around 74, but we all know eventually the plan will be you actually cut.
Yeah.
So like all 74, so you'll be like 77, 78, cut down to 74.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's already a 74 in France who's in the lead, and you allow him in the silent worker, and for you, it was a no-brainer. For other people, they're a little surprised.
For me, it's a no-brainer because, in my opinion, competition drives the best out of us. And when I say I want to be the best or I want to win, I don't want to win or be the best when the best aren't there. You know. So obviously, coming in yesterday, I knew that I wouldn't really be able to beat him like on total, because like he's a real 74 and he's like very, very talented. But at the same time, I still wanted to show up. I still wanted to compete with him. And, you know, I didn't win everything from the day I stepped foot into powerlifting. I always had my share of like wins, but also losses. To be 100% honest also, I don't consider what happened yesterday as a loss because completely different. But for sure, we'll meet up at French Nationals. But you know me, I like to have some hate towards my opponents because that drives me as a competitor. I can't hate the guy.
He's a
the
nice
sweetest.
kid.
Yeah,
That's going to be
he's
tough.
sweet. We have a lot of things in common. We train together quite often, actually, throughout summer. So yeah, I have nothing but like respect towards him, and I also appreciate him. But you know, at least for the time being, he's my new rival in France. But like we talked about it earlier, in my opinion, the reason as to why the US is so dominant in powerlifting is because they have their weight classes stacked with killers. Like you look at the 74s, you have Elliot Sykes, you have Perkins, you have some other names. 83s.
Yes, sir.
Remember 1 year 83s, it was like Russ, Sean Noriega, Angelo, Fortino.
Yeah, and this year they had Delaney, Fortino, you know, Joey B, Sean.
Yeah,
blah,
it's
blah,
like top 5 over 850, which like a couple of years ago was winning worlds by a substantial amount. So I think it's better from a just egoistical perspective to be like, oh, I'm the best by a mile in my country, and it's cool. But at the same time, having somebody where you're like, oh, you want to get out of your country, then you have to beat this guy.
Yeah.
And this guy is like very, very strong. Then it just forces you to become stronger. So that's the way I look at it. And yeah, for me, having actually the current strongest 74 at our meet was like an honor, and he put up a stellar performance.
So like here's, because you could have very easily said, with all due respect, this is supposed to be my 74 debut. This is supposed to be, it's my meet. This is my story. Yeah. And you're gonna come and you're the number 174. I would like this to be about me. And instead, you put aside your ego and be like, I'll share the platform with you. You're the guy who I'm trying to catch up to. You're gonna probably have the bigger total. I'm trying to catch up to what you're doing, and still like that's fine.
Yeah,
that's totally fine. That it takes a lot of ego set aside to do something like that, and like it's all good. And then do a speech, congratulate him or whatever, and he's beaming. He's like he has a moment out there. He's like, oh my God, I talked to him backstage. He's like, it's crazy because you have like you, two-time world champ, Jurens, Emil. Turbo Tiff, like, you know, the roster they have, he's like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And you get to give that to him.
Yeah. You know, I think ultimately I want to give back to the sport as much as it gave me. And I think when you have a young talent like he is and young hopefully star in France. I think he is going to be. I would have liked for somebody to like do that for me when I started. So yeah, it's my turn to give back. Obviously, I'm still a competitor. I still want to beat his ass at French nationals.
You got one, son. Not just the one, though, huh?
Yeah, he got one.
Take it easy.
But yeah, you know, it will be like fair and square. And if he wins, then what's the point of me trying to diminish what he's accomplished, you know?
Like you're actually trying to bolster him up.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing. You're literally giving him a platform to do
yeah.
so, which is cool. So coming in, you know, we were talking about, I was saying on the commentary booth, you taking 280 for a third. It's such a huge jump from anything you've ever felt before. Do you think that was a bit of a factor? You had mentioned you only had 280 on your back once or twice before leading into this, and you're brand new in this weight class. Was that a factor with possibly the depth?
Yeah, maybe. My leverages are really different because when I was competing prior, whenever I was cutting weight, it was because you feel much like thinner, much skinnier, I would say, when you cut weight. It's almost a no-brainer to squat to depth, at least for me. But here, because I felt a bit more rounded, a bit more bloated, it felt a bit different. Maybe that's part of the reason as to why I'm stronger now on squats than I ever was. But at the same time, maybe that played a role. So I definitely just have to go back to the training room and fix that small thing. But with some sets that I did throughout prep and also how good I felt on the platform, I think it's really just a matter of time. And I want to say I hope, but I plan to have this not be my third at nationals.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
The comfortability with 280 on your back, basically what you need.
Yeah.
More and more comfortable with it. Because you didn't grind.
Yeah.
We're used to you grinding like crazy.
Yeah.
We know you can grind if you have to.
Yeah.
Just got to get probably more comfortable with 280 on your back. Now looking at the bench press, how good did bench press feel with the added body weight?
Yeah, it feels good, I'll be honest. So my best bench ever in training is 190, and I hit that maybe a month ago. But I didn't squat prior, and it wasn't like too comp standard with like international refs like we had yesterday. So obviously 187 is very, very close to that, but with a big squat prior and also with the comp standard. So I felt very good on bench. And I feel that, so I'm starting to do sets that would prior to that be my top set on some training sessions. For example, for sets of 5, I would maybe take 150 for one set during one training session. But then lately, there was one training session where I did a 3x5 with 160.
Yeah, seen that.
So which is huge weight. So I think I just need a bit more volume with those weights, like 160, 170, and I'm sure that will really bring up my top end nicely. So hopefully 190 plus.
Talking about comp standards, how tough are those standards with you, my man? This is your meet. Your wife is out there, again, she's notorious for red lighting you. But yeah, like how tough are those standards out there?
I mean, at the end of the day, you can have your own ideas and opinion about that, but as an athlete, you just have to adapt or you don't. So I'd much rather have my meet have crazy high expectations where nobody can not say anything if a lift passes than, it's because it's his meet, blah, blah, blah. Like no one will never be able to say, I pass like a squat or a deadlift or whatever at one of our meet, like one salon worker meet, just because it's my meet, quote unquote, you know. Right. So I would say as an athlete, it's harsh, but obviously we had the president of the French Federation refereeing, category 2 referee, IPF, vice president also. So, you know, it was like international refs. So the highest standard that you want, and I think it's a good thing.
And then going into deadlifts, how did the back feel by the time the deadlifts rolled around?
Back felt okay. Like I wasn't 100%, but definitely strong enough to pull something. Now, obviously, I did some math, and I was like, if I would have had my squat, I would need 292.5 to do 760. So that's probably what I would have gone for. But because I knew that total wasn't in the cards anymore, I was like, you know what? If I can grind out a 300 kilo, it'll be a good day.
Yeah.
So I went for it for the glory, I would say, just for the glory.
So if you look at 732.5, not what you wanted,
yeah,
but compare that to January's 692.5. How much do you feel like a bigger, stronger human being leaving 2025, entering 2025? I mean, obviously, without a doubt. But the type of progress you've made inside of 2025, how do you feel satisfied with it? And how do you think, like, obviously, I say leaving 2025, we have French nationals.
Yeah.
So if you can pull off even a 7, what are you shooting for French nationals?
It's hard because the line between being delusional and believing in yourself is very thin.
God, that's a fact.
That's the worst.
I've talked to a lot of world champion powerlifters, especially numbers. And
Yeah. So I want to say something big, something crazy. I think to win French nationals against Balthazar, I think around 800 will be needed. And obviously, I don't know if I'll be strong enough by then to do it, but there is only one way to know it. It's just to try it. So I'll shoot for 800 at French nationals. If I can make it happen, then have more mouths that I'll be able to close, haters, I would say. And if I can't, then, like I said, might as well shoot for the craziest number, because that's where you're going to force yourself to do things that maybe you don't want to do. Like, maybe you're getting comfortable, and one way to not get comfortable is try to chase greatness. And that's, I always try to do, and that's what I'll try to do forever. So for sure, I want to shoot for 800 at French nationals.
So looking at French nationals, for some people that don't know, to make an international team, you were showing me earlier. So there's, the max is around 800-ish, you think, to win it. But to make an international team, there's other pathways. There's Euros, potentially, if as well as Worlds, and also France might send 274s. But to even be in this conversation of Worlds, you have a minimum you have to hit.
I think it will be 760, at least.
So that was the goal initially, at least.
Yeah.
So at the very least, no matter what, your worst day when you're leaving French nationals, you're going to tell the handlers, we hit 760.
Yeah.
We cannot leave without 760. Yeah. If the wheels fall off my last pull, make it 760,
exactly,
please. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'll definitely need to be much more, to be able to execute much better on squats. Strength is there, technique is there. Like, my technique has never felt this good on squats, forever. So just have to make it. And then, like I said, if I did make my 280 squat, I would have needed 292 deadlift. And even if it was just my second, which was 275, I would have needed like 297. So around there, like I said, hopefully by then I'm able to squat more. Like maybe around 290 would be very, very good. But yeah, that's pretty much the goal. And also if I can add like 5-7 kilos to my bench, then I still need to get my deadlift. Man, imagine I squatted 280 and I deadlifted 285, so it's...
Yeah, what's happening?
It's not possible, man.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah,
this is not the
possible.
way. If you can keep that 50 kilo spread,
yeah,
your squat goes to 280. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're cooking with something there.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? You have to like rearrange, now that you're a bigger lifter, and bigger lifters do have different programming.
Yeah.
You have to adjust, like you're a coach. You're not going to program Brutus the same. With Brutus, by the way, congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Hell of a competition. But you're not going to program Brutus like you will Turbo TIF. So are you adjusting your programming as you go? This is all relatively new. It's 2 months deep for you.
Yeah, so unfortunately, like I said, I wasn't really able to experiment with the deadlift because my body just wasn't ready for that. Hopefully in the coming weeks, I'll be able to. But like on squats and bench, I changed some things and I really felt like some good differences. I think I was able to have my best like strength potential on the platform, I would say. But deadlift, I just didn't get enough time to practice it. So hopefully in the coming weeks, as my back gets better and better, I'll be able to.
It's like the more data points you collect, the more you're able to tinker with things like Brutus. I asked Brutus actually earlier today, how much has your training changed over the years? Because he just did 932 and a half.
Yeah.
He might be France's #1 120 come 2 months. It's him and Nico. They're neck and neck.
Yeah.
And he's like, you keep experimenting.
Yeah.
Over the course of you've been with him 4 years?
4 years almost, yeah.
Right. And you as a 74 now, your body has changed, levers has changed, the weights have changed, the impact of squatting 280 instead of 250 on your squat day, and how does that impact your deadlift? Well, now do you have to change things around? Is deadlift a little more? Do you have to move it around? You don't know yet.
Yeah.
You only did 280 like 3 times in your life.
Yeah.
So this is all brand new, and you have 2 months. 2026 is really going to be a huge year for you. You don't got a lot of time here, but looking forward to it, like what are some of your, well, first off, expectations for body weight? Because you were right on the money, you're underneath 74 without cutting.
Yeah.
So 2026, what are some expectations you have for your body weight, as well as do you think your programming is going to be redone over and reconfigured and due to these kind of things?
So I would say, that's my opinion, that's my perspective, to be the best 74 possible, you have to be around 77, 78, pretty lean. So obviously I could bulk up to 78 tomorrow, like in a matter of weeks, but that won't be muscle. That'll be just mostly like fat and maybe water retention, salt, stuff like that. So my goal is to go around 76, 77 by French nationals, but as quote unquote clean as I can, and then cut back to 74.
76, 77?
Yeah.
No kidding. Like walking around and then cut the water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's 3 more kilos.
Yeah, so my body weight around August, like for World Games, was a bit high. It was around 70 then, maybe a bit higher than that on some days. So ideally, I would like to, so I took like approximately 3 kilos in that 2 months period. So I would like to do the same for French nationals. So hopefully around, so I was 73 something, 73.7. So around 75.7, 76, that would be sweet.
That'd be huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. That would be interesting. But like I said, building muscle unfortunately takes more time than just putting on fat.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm aiming for that for French nationals, ideally.
And I seen on social media, it was on your Instagram stories, it looks like you're doing more bodybuilding stuff to put on.
Definitely, yeah. I'm doing like 2 bodybuilding sessions every week now.
Oh, wow.
So I'm training 6 times a week for powerlifting and 2 bodybuilding. So the bodybuilding is more like overall full body training session. So I'll do like 2 exercises per muscle group, essentially. So it takes me about like an hour and a half to complete. So it's not like crazy, but it's more volume for like muscle growth. But also, I'm not a huge eater, and training like makes me hungry. So it also allows me like to put on more muscle, but also to eat more. So that's the overall plan for the coming months.
And like, how fun are the bodybuilding days, to be honest? Pumping guns. I see you pumping guns. You're doing biceps, man.
I must say, it feels better than, so I started with like bodybuilding, I would say, then stopped for powerlifting, and I was like, I don't want to do anything else but squat, bench, deadlift.
Yeah. You were that guy.
Yeah, 100%. And I still am to a certain extent, I would say. For example, if an athlete comes to me and he goes, oh, I have 1,600 calories a day, and I don't have a lot of energy outside the powerlifting training sessions, then I'll be like, let's focus the most on powerlifting. But right now, I'm not in that situation anymore. I'm not eating like 1,000 something calories. I'm eating 3,000 calories.
Okay, I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
what is the calorie jump?
3,000 right now.
And you were literally before like 1,000 and a half,
Yeah,
like 1,500?
Yeah.
So you've almost doubled your calories?
Yeah. On the last weeks of prep, I was around 1,500 calories. On the last weeks, like on the last 2 weeks.
When you're leading into like a 66?
Yeah, like before Worlds or before Sheffield, for example, stuff like that, yeah.
Okay. And what was your maintenance calories before that?
So to maintain around 70 kilos, I think I was around 2,000, maybe slightly less.
Okay, so you were eating double to, like before it was like 2/3, you're like 33% more.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
Like when I'm done with my training sessions, especially like end of preps, I would go to my home and be like, I don't have the energy to do anything else. Now it's like I can do a lot of things.
Yeah, whatever.
But at the same time, I don't want to say it's a good thing that I did that, and I don't want to say also it was the most like stupid thing that I did that, because it allowed me to be 2 times world champion. And also, in my opinion, it just shows strength of character when you're willing to do all of those sacrifices for your sport, essentially, which is like what some fighters do, for example. So I don't want to say it's dumb. I would say if it allows you to be much more competitive and reach your goals, then why not? But at some point, when you have some patterns repeating, then you have to look at the reality, and that was my pattern. Like when my back just gave up a couple of weeks out, I was like, it's not the first time. Before that, I would go, I have no other choice, but now I do have another choice, and the other choice is moving up. So that's what also pushed that decision, I would say.
it worked until it didn't, essentially.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, 2 world titles, Sheffield appearances, and everything you've done, whatever. It obviously was successful. But this is a whole nother ballgame. So now you're doing far more bodybuilding training. And are you like doing like, because there's another thing that you're going to end up doing. You're going to start bulking. And if you notice your body's bulking in certain ways, and now you're almost looking at it like bodybuilding style. Like, I'm smaller here. I need to focus on this in my body. Are you? Because like big dudes like Brutus do this kind of thing where let me shape my body. Where can I add a couple kilos where it's going to help certain lifts, etc. Because you will naturally blow up in certain areas. Just normal. And then other ones are going to be more stubborn. So then you're like actually attacking this from a bodybuilder's mentality, programming. Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's like lately I focused a lot on like shoulders.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
Yeah, shoulders, I would say. But yeah, essentially, that also legs. I'll be honest, I started to do more accessories on my legs. I have like a small thing going on with my knee, so I can't go like too crazy on that because then with squats, it's just a bit too much. I have like a small knee issue from when I started to grow in my childhood, so I cannot go too crazy on that. But yeah, that's essentially the idea, and that's also something we changed with Brutus. So he used to do maybe too much bodybuilding accessories, and maybe I was not doing enough, and now we're both like going in the middle where you're doing sufficient work to get bigger, but at the same time, not so much to the point where it's really detrimental to your powerlifting performance.
This is gonna be interesting for you, like as an athlete, obviously, but even as a coach,
Yeah,
to be like
absolutely
making someone jump up a weight class, and it's a big one too, like 66 to 74, comparative to the body size, that's a big jump. And you're like, I need to get stronger, also bigger and bigger in certain areas. And depending on what lift you want to blow up, like, do you do things for like, are you now doing core exercises? How much would you do for arms necessarily? Does it matter? Does it, I don't know, do you do calves?
if I do calves, then I won't be able to fit in my SBD knee sleeves. So
Okay, well that's a good excuse. There it is. I'm gonna use that too.
I don't do calves. That's why.
Yeah.
Next time you're going to be, I'm squatting a lot of weight. I have to have my knee sleeves. So sorry,
That's right.
Calves.
That's right. But it is interesting. It's like a science experiment for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're probably learning tons.
And also, it's refreshing. I would say it's a new game for me. And the funny thing is, I knew what I was leaving when I left 66. I was leaving like, I don't want to say guaranteed podium, but definitely in contention almost every year in that weight class, for maybe not being able to compete internationally for a year, 2 years, I don't know, So it was that, but at the same time, that experiment is really fulfilling, like intellectually as a coach, but also as an athlete to experience all of those new things. Like what I experienced on the platform yesterday, maybe I didn't ever experience it. You know what I mean? I used to feel, when you're cutting weight, everything feels off. You know what I mean? It's just like mentally. You have to be strong mentally, and I feel that this weight is going to crush me on the way down. No matter what, I'm going to go down and then come back up with it. Yesterday wasn't the case. Yesterday was like, I'm feeling exactly like I would feel in training. So it's
how crazy is that?
Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. It's different, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
And when you grow into 74, I don't know, like this might be a fleeting feeling for you because eventually you're gonna grow into 74 and have to cut.
Yeah.
You're kind of like enjoying this right now. But
Yeah. I think so. But what I say to people who tell me, well, you used to cut 3 kilos as 66, and if you cut 3 kilos as 74, it will be the same. Absolutely not. Because when I was cutting 3 kilos as 66, I was already on like 1,500 calories. Now I'm like on 3,000. So if I cut from 3,000 to let's say 2,2.5 or 2,400, it's much more different.
Still more.
Yeah, it's still like almost 800 calories more than what I used to eat. Also, it's something to cut 3 kilos like food mass. Already I was not eating a lot of food. So if now I'm eating a lot, then the food mass, the weight cut will be the gut cut will be much easier from that. So even if it's 3 kilos in both ways, they don't equate to the same, like by any means. I think to have the kind of cuts that I had as 66, I think I would probably need to be 79 and cut down to 74.
How big do you think? Here's the thing. I remember talking to you before, and you were previously going into competitions, and when you would go through these drastic cuts, you would openly say, like, it feels like a part of it. Like when and this might be a psychological thing you would tell yourself because you need to. Like you're going into battle, so you have to stay positive. But you would be like, now I know this is part of it. I'm being ready. Like, as hard as the cut is, I'm like, oh, I'm ready. I'm battle ready. I'm about to go. This is what it feels like about to go into battle. It's all I know. So it means my body's ready for battle. And you've done it so many times, you could rest assured it's part of the process I need not worry about. Not only am I not worried, it signals to my brain we're about to fight. Get ready. So it's fine. It's part of it, right? It's like putting your socks on before you put your shoes on and then you go out the door. So how much of it do you think eventually, like how much can you stretch as a 74? And there's weight classes for a reason. There's a reason we saw you load 280. And people could say he didn't hit 280. But we're talking about it's a questionable call. Was it up? Was it down? Was it in? Was it out? We wouldn't talk 280 at 66 kilos.
Oh, absolutely not.
There's a reason why there's weight classes. We're talking about 280. That's crazy. We're talking 692 and a half was a bad day at 66. 732 and a half is a bad day at 74. Like you're a bigger, stronger human. There's weight classes for a reason. So having said that, the reason why you cut is why everyone cuts is the bigger the human, the more mass you push. You prove that.
100%.
So what do you think? I mean, this is early days of 74, but do you think slowly as you try to grab more kilos and get stronger and you know you can cut and you know how your body responds and how you could double back, grind the whole nine, what would, if you start getting greedy, a 78 kilo Pana start moving? Is 800 and above, 815, you're like, oh yeah.
I think it could happen.
I'm going to stay with you. By July 2026, I'm 83 kilos cutting down.
No, honestly, it could happen. So because the way I view it is some athletes have different advantages over other athletes. For example, Balthazar has very, very short femurs, so he's built to squat. So if I want to compete against him, I have to find my own advantages to be able to compete with him. So I know for a fact Perkins doesn't cut a lot of weight. So if you're a 74 and you're like, this guy has this over me, that over me, how can I have some advantages? And I would say for a powerlifter, I think I'm pretty big as a human being. And so I would say as a 66, that was one of my strengths. Like, everybody can think whatever he wants or she wants about themselves, but I would say my two strengths are like my mental resilience and also like my physical my size. Like as 66, I was probably one of the biggest 66.
Unquestionably.
So I think maybe I could replicate that as a 74 because there are also some very, very big 74s like Fatuncha, the guy who's benching like 220 something. He's huge.
Right from Germany.
Bodybuilder. He's a bodybuilder. He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, you get like that. Yeah.
So I was like, obviously, I don't know to what extent I can be able to get close to that physique, but in my head, one of my strengths, I think I'm pretty big as a human being for a powerlifter, and that I want to count on that in order to be able to cover some ground. So if at some point the occasion rises and I'm like, oh, I'm 78 and I'm not like full of fat and I look good and I'm much stronger, 79, I think up to 80 kilos, I would cut down to 74. Then above that, I don't know if you saw, but when you post some stuff that I do on socials, people are like, oh, when is 83 Pana? Or, oh, when is 93 Pana? I'm like, guys,
93
chill.
Pana,
chill.
oh my God.
I just started, chill. Yeah. So we'll see, but I think I would like to stay 74 for at least 2 years, really try to grow, and then from there we see where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, 74, first off, you just got here. You were 60.
I don't consider I'm 74 yet, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're within, but you're not cutting at all. And we know, what you can cut. Like, what you might cut from, if you're cutting from 74 to 79, my God, 5 kilos, that's freaking 10 pounds for our American friends and Canadian friends. 10 pounds is like a full weight class in the UFC. Or like boxing or whatever. It's a huge jump. You're going to be a different human being by the end of 2026, considered like, in comparison to 2025 right now.
Yeah.
So we could see some huge jumps coming forward. However, so you want to first off make the jumps while within the weight class, and then stay there. And then again, the different type of change of your programming, changing of your levers, changing of how you squat and how it feels, and how much evaluation you need to do over the next year is going to be huge. It's a whole nother ballgame for you right now, like a science experiment.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm really excited about that. Like, I don't want to say it's like limitless possibilities, because obviously it's not the case, but it's a new challenge. And also, like, it just drives hunger, for me, because I'm like, I proved myself as a powerlifter, as 66. Now I have to do it again as 74.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, some people in France will be like, oh, there's no way Pana will be able to beat Balthazar. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly, has been my storyline since I started.
Right.
Like 2021, nobody can beat Sergey, I beat him. 2023, oh no, Pana just bombed out from Euros. We don't know about his squat. He won't be able to beat Kyoto. He won't be able to beat Brian Lee. I did it. And then, and then I lost the next year to Kassem-san. So, it will always be battles. And I think that's what's really interesting about the sport. If there's only always dominance, it's cool in a way, but you want to see a battle up until the very end. And I know that'll be my DNA as a powerlifter throughout the rest of my career.
There's a point in time where you could always stop, cut, return to 66.
Yeah.
There's always that piece, right? Yeah. But doing that, let's say this is the boat and this is the shoreline. So you stay close enough to 66, I could always cut and drop back there.
Yeah.
But eventually, you're not going to find the new land, the new holy land, with everything they'll give you unless you raise the body weight up.
Yeah.
And you're so far away from the shoreline, you can't see it and there's no turning back.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you crossed over that line yet, do you think? I think you're
so.
past the shoreline,
Yeah,
there's no turning back now. It is what it is.
Yeah. Obviously, looking at what some athletes are doing, moving up a weight class, like Joey B, Atwood, it really inspires me. I'm like, maybe I did hold myself back for some time, but I'm glad I did it because I was able to accomplish what I accomplished in the sport. And my story would have been different if I didn't. But now I'm like, okay, I have the accolades to my name. I'm already 2 times world champion. That will never change. If I can podium in the weight class up, which is like a murderer's row, essentially, I think that adds to my resume. If I can maybe be in contention for a world title, I'm not talking 2 years, 3 years, I'm talking maybe a bit later, that would be one of the best ways to end my career. And I'm looking like towards this way. And like you said, I think I just finished, I don't want to say I finished the game like I won everything at 66. I don't say it in that way. I mean it more, I tried everything as a 66. Mm-hmm. Everything, training-wise, competition-wise. Like there's nothing else I can do essentially as a 66 now. But as a 74, I have everything to redo again. So that's what is driving my passion and my hunger right now in the training gym, in the training hall. And it feels weird to be like, man, if you don't move around, if you don't get much stronger, you're not going to win nationals.
Isn't that crazy? It's like you're the contender all over again.
Yeah. But it feels bad and good at the same time. You know what I mean?
Really, yeah.
It feels bad because it's like, oh, I'm the contender now. But then I'm like, I'm the contender, so I have to move it up. I can't waste any minute of my time now. So it will be 2 months of just absolute focus in the gym.
So this is interesting. Like, you're the contender moving up? I think most people would say, like, obviously, like Balthazar or internationally, whoever you want to say, we're already 74s. They have registered totals as 74s that you have to try to. You haven't hit those totals yet. So the pressure's on them. Like, they are the favorites to beat you, and you're the guy moving up, which takes pressure off. And look, I'm the guy on the come up. However, because you're a 2-time world champ, they're like, you got no time, Playboy.
That's
we
the
expect
problem.
you.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Right. So do you think, in some ways, do you think even like okay, if you got 280, and if 280 was on the line and it went the other way against you, if 280 went for you and all of a sudden, fuck, you threw 20 kilos on there. Now all of a sudden, you're, instead of pulling 300 kilos, you're doing 292 and a half or whatever. Okay, 292 and 7.5 kilos less was on the day. And all of a sudden, you're 760, and now we were talking about nationals. Do you think, if nothing else, yesterday might have helped recalibrate, buy you some elbow room, and people will see 280 on a good day is there, so he's strong, but let him work into it. He's strong, but let him have 280 on his back a little more. He weighed 74, but he didn't cut it all. He just walks off the street like that. We know that's not how athletes operate these days. Do you think if, like, yesterday might buy you some elbow room or no?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was, you have to confront yourself to the reality sometimes. And I'm like, I'm much stronger, but I also need to make sure my squat depth is unquestionable for the next meet, which is like French nationals. But then at the same time, by then, he will be different, I will be different too. But the circumstances will be the exact same. Like, he didn't have to cut weight for this one, so he weighed in at his like smooth body weight, like walking body weight. I'm not there yet, so it will be different. But I would say it's almost as if, before going to the pool, you like put in your wrist to feel the temperature, and then you go in. That's exactly how I felt yesterday. I'm like, okay, I see what I can do. I wasn't able to do it yesterday, but I think I know how I can make it there.
Does Anissa call your squat depth in prep?
So usually, yeah. The problem is for the past month, I haven't been here. So, I was in Quebec with Brutus, and then I went to Spain, etc. So I just was able to do one training session where I had her assess my depth. And she said some reps were fine, some were borderline. And, exactly what she said yesterday. She said the 275 she would have given it to me, but he didn't. And then the 280, she said she wouldn't have given it to me. So it's almost there. So I just have to make sure it's, it's, like you said, it's not as if it was like miles high. It was a tad high, and I just have to sink it a bit deeper. But also getting that confidence, because obviously, like I said, it's 280 on my back. I haven't squatted that like many, many times. So it's just making sure my body is ready to handle it properly. And so a week prior, I did 265 for 3 reps on squats, that was my top set on a very, very good day in the gym at 70 kilos.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that around 74 kilos for 3 reps, RP 8. So my strength is there. I just have to make sure I'm able to hit the depth that's required for those meets, and then continue to bulk up my bench, and then be able to, like we said, experiment a bit more with my deadlift, as obviously as my back allows me to.
Do you know the David Ricks story with his wife and his squat depth?
No.
David Ricks broke a IPF squat world record at like 62 years old or something crazy. And David Ricks was notorious for, he had a massive squat, but he would squat high in competition. So he's either going to break the world record or he's going to bomb out. And in his prime, he almost beat prime Jesse Norris head-to-head, which became legendary, and gave Jesse Norris and Joey Flex the scare of their lives. And David Ricks was 175 years old. I swear to God. Check open powerlifting. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life, and it became legendary. And David Ricks was in training, and his squat was like the weight he's throwing on his back was getting ridiculous, like super heavy squats. And his wife is like, it's high. I'm telling you, it's high. You're gonna bomb out. And he's like, you always say it's high. It passes on the platform. You're not a ref. And she said, fine. And she went out and she got a ref license. And she passed. She took the course. She passed the exam, sat down in the gym, and would be like, hi, and judging his squats. He's like, you're killing me here. And actually prepped him, and then almost caught Jesse Norris, for God's sake. You know what I mean? So anyways, it's kind of like that. Anissa could be your secret weapon to keep you grounded.
That's definitely what I usually do in preps, because obviously Anissa, Tiff is also a national ref. We have some people, so always keeping some people to ground you, I think, is important. Sometimes you also need maybe to squat a bit higher to gain a bit of confidence. But if you are competing in powerlifting, you need to make sure those squats pass in the meet, and that's definitely something I'll focus heavily on the coming weeks.
Talking about Turbo Tiff, frig, what happened in Germany, and I seen her backstage, and she was upset. You know, she was in tears, and she was like, I've just never lost. And this is a lady who's been to 4 world championships. This is her 5th. And it's like, you've never lost until now, 5 championships deep.
Exactly.
Like, she's just like a proverbial winner, wins at everything. Like she should buy lottery tickets.
She won at Silent Worker like yesterday.
Like she just beat like half a dozen world champions. She's like, she's like, I'll be fine. It is what it is. She's like, I'm just not used to this. I'm a little rattled. I've never lost. And I said something to the effect of like, this, it hurts right now, but this, you were gonna lose eventually. You gotta feel this. Stay in your feelings for a minute. Remember how this feels. Don't fluff it off. Don't make excuses. You can do that. Don't do that. Don't take that option. Don't take the easy way out. Feel that. It's shitty. You will come back like other people. This is a good thing to finally lose. Now you'll level up. How often was she winning from 420 to 430, from 420 to 430, or in and about, and just hanging in there because you keep winning? And then to your point of why Balthazar here, what that feels like, okay, now you finally lost freaking back-to-back 450. So
when it happened, I told her, so I was very, very upset because I wasn't there. So, you know, when I want to share the wins as much as I want to share the losses with the guys that I coach. But I said to myself, and I actually said that to her too, I think it's the best thing that could have happened to you. Because you tasted what no athlete wants to taste, like the taste of defeat. And you're 4 times world champion and you feel worthless. And that's exactly the type of feeling that you need sometimes in order to, like we said, get out of your comfort zone. Everybody says, you know, I'm a world champion, I'm a top class athlete, I'm not comfortable, etc. Yeah, we're definitely not comfortable. I would agree with that. But there's a difference between like 99% and 100%. And that difference is, in my opinion, what allowed her to move from 430s to 450 back to back. She tasted the worst taste ever possibly imaginable, and that truly changed her approach. I don't want to say to training, because Tiff is like a machine in training. She always trains very, very hard, very, very consistently. Whatever happens, she's always hitting what we want her to hit, etc. But mentally, how she would approach competitions, that changed a lot, like especially with World Games. And I told her at World Games, I want you to focus on this, I want you to do that. She was able to do all of that, and that's what gave her that total. And that's the same mentality that we'll go to Sheffield with. And I'm sure she'll be able to replicate this type of performance, but also do more than that.
Because she is feisty. Yeah. She's a gamer. Like anyone who knows Turbo Tiff, I remember when I first came to Silent Worker, and this is like the first time in France, and I'd seen her at Worlds before, but when I met her like in France,
she's in her environment.
She was in her environment. I was not, and I could feel it. She let me know. I was like, she's a spicy one.
She is,
And so you could tell if someone's gonna taste defeat, or if they feel like they have their back to the wall, they'll come out swinging.
100%.
Tiff's gonna come out swinging.
Oh, absolutely. So it's a good thing, but you know what's frustrating for me is what her World's prep was better than the World Games prep, and she did like 20 kilos more at the World Games than what she did at Worlds. So I'm sure that with the so right now we have a very, very good and smooth program that we run. We obviously tweak some things around, but the structure stays the same, and we have some very, very good results, like back to back to back. Now we just need to fix a couple of things here and there, but it was one of the first meets with World Games where we're able to have like 100% on her squat, 100% on her bench, and pretty much the same on deadlifts. So that will be the focus for the coming weeks, but I'm sure by Sheffield, I think she will be able to be close to 460.
So, I mean, that's crazy. She was going for 455.
Yeah.
What was her body weight at World Games?
So 47.1.
That's right. So this is just for anyone, because they're like, well, I heard she was over body. No, 0.1.
It was on purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, for Sheffield, for sure.
Yeah. But some people were like, oh, Tiff missed weight. I'm like,
no, like
You
Sheffield.
think she missed weight by 100,
yeah,
100 grams?
Yeah.
You think like she wouldn't cut her hair for 100 grams?
100 grams is nothing. No, but it's important that she did 450 at like essentially body.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not an issue.
We wanted that. So we wanted to find a body weight that would be very close to like Sheffield standards, so a weight, but not there, because otherwise what she would have done would have counted for the world record, and that would jeopardize her Sheffield chances. So that's why we wanted her to be very, very close. So we were like between 47.1 and 0.3 will be acceptable, and she weighed in at 47.1. So that was
perfect.
Yeah, that was perfect.
So at World Games, you have a couple things that are good check boxes, so nobody can talk. First off, you got international travel all the way to China. Not the easiest, go through all the visas and the whole nine. That's not an easy situation. Time zones, travel, the whole nine, foreign food, etc. So you have all of that international level judging, which needed to be done as well. Body weight, 100 grams. So again, check to make that 450 more valid. It wasn't a local meet.
Yeah.
It wasn't way over body weight. The judging wasn't local judging, yada, yada. But the one thing, the last checkbox, which is going to make the story much better, is next time will be Heather Connor in the room.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful sports rivalry because previous to Turbo Tiff, it was all Heather.
Yeah.
And Heather was the one taking the 47s into heights that we never thought possible. And Heather was the undisputed GOAT. And then Turbo Tiff emerges. And then it becomes all Turbo Tiff. And people for a stitch forgot about Heather. And it was 2019, which is, that's the first time we met.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were different. You were 74 then too, ironically.
No, it was my first 66.
Okay.
Yeah,
Never
I
mind.
did fifth at Worlds.
Okay. No, sorry. But right. So, but 2019, and then it was all Turbo Tiff, and Heather to come back, a remarkable story.
Yeah.
For Heather to come back since 2019 to 2025, the gap in winning world titles, like you think about that.
That's
like you
insane.
think like, for instance, your last world title, if you wait like freaking 6 years and be like, how you like me now?
Yeah.
How many people were dancing on your grave for 6 years?
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be like, no, it's done. You're cooked. Stop trying. You're like,
Yeah.
am I?
Exactly.
6 years later. So that was a great story for her.
Yeah.
Beautiful comeback story for Heather. And it was guys like ironically, you could probably take like motivation, inspiration for like, oh, hell yeah, I feel you now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And then after Heather does that and has to beat Turbo Tiff, who is the Mike Tyson of the 47s, now there can be a discussion. Can you say Heather's the GOAT? Yeah. Having all of what she did before, coming back and having to beat Tiff head to head. If Tiff wasn't there because she was injured, you couldn't have that conversation. Yeah. But because Tiff was there, you might. Now, if people still say it's Tiff, that's fine, because what she did at World Games is crazy. But it all sets up an epic clash at Sheffield.
Absolutely.
And literally the history of the 47s will be rewritten with this clash and what's going to happen here. And with everything you know about Tiff, how motivated, because you said they went head to head, she got in her own head, took her first L. And how motivated do you think Tiff will be when she looks across the warm-up room and there's Heather Connor?
You know, I do some vlogs where I like talk about my mindset prior to some big weight stuff like that, and have some guys that did like almost like an edit with like hard music with some of the sound bites that I talk about in my vlogs, and I have one thing where at one moment I was like, I'd rather die than miss this weight. I'd rather die. That's the mentality that she has. She'd rather die than lose this battle to Heather, and I'm sure we'll see the greatest performance of the 47s from Heather, but from Tiff, and obviously rooting for my girl. I'm sure Tiff will emerge as the undisputed best 47 in the world. Then, you know, I don't think it's over because, like you just said, Heather's comeback story is incredible for all of the athletes. Like, imagine Taylor Atwood if in like a couple of years he wins another world title in the 83s.
Yeah,
same. Even better because, in my opinion, Atwood is the GOAT of powerlifting in general, I would say. But,
Sure.
But yeah, even better. So yeah, that's very, very inspiring. Like you said, to me, it is too, because I'm like, now I'm moving up a weight class, so maybe people like don't think about me for contention for the like foreseeable future. So definitely, but I think it will be a very, very good rivalry in the 47s. Maybe also Jessica Espinal will come back. If she comes back, she's also a special athlete. So yeah, I think about what we said prior with like dominance. Sometimes it gets a bit boring, like for a spectator. I think right now the 47 probably became the biggest rivalry in the women side of powerlifting.
No, I mean, it's definitely one of the best rivalries. And that's 100% true. If Tiff just won and then won and then won and then won, like she has been 4 in a row, Tiff, if you win another 4, people are going to stop paying attention.
Oh,
unfortunately.
100%. I think like her wins have become less and less impactful. Like people get used to greatness, you know what I mean? So people
which should never happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you imagine seeing a painting, hearing a song, its greatness, just be like, I can't taste the flavor of this vanilla anymore.
Imagine you're listening to a song too many times. At some point, you're like, oh, I can't listen to it anymore. But at first, you were really, really rocking with it. So I think it's pretty much the same. So for a lot of reasons, I told Tiff when it happened, it's actually one of the best things that could happen to you.
And now, the people, even in France or whatever, who are like, they got used. Some people have 4 years in a row winning world championships. Some people have entered the sport and you were already the world champion, and you've just been the world champion the whole time. They get used to it.
Yeah.
We have the world champ. Now that they lost it, you lost and they lost that world champion. They're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Before they liked you, now they're like, come on, Tiff.
Yeah.
Like before they saw you and they're like, yeah, Tiff's got this. Anyways.
Yeah.
But now they're like, come on, Tiff.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. Now, like, make them feel nervous. Like, holy shit, I hope she's got this. But if you don't make me feel that, it's like, yeah, of course, Pana's going to win again. No, every time you show up, you're like, oh my God, here we go. It means, I'll remember it. I need to feel that. And even for Tiff's story, if she writes a book like Leah did, you need to have like lost, come back. And the person you lost to is a legend in Heather Connor. She also has a phenomenal story. Your book can have 3 chapters about how great she is, and then when she takes it from you, you got to come back, and that's who you have to beat. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's the stage is set. I'm assuming this time you're going to be there, though.
I will, 100%.
Yeah. How nervous are you going to be?
Not really, I would say. I'll probably be nervous like before like her first squat. But then Tiff has been to Sheffield like 3 times already. I have 2. I have been to 2 times. We have that experience. Heather doesn't.
That's true.
She doesn't know what it is to squat in front of like 2,500 people. And I remember, I think I told you about this, like the first Sheffield ever. Tiff was one of the first to squat with Evie. I remember, like, Tiff had her like music earphones, and then I don't know what happened, but people started to like that very, very loud, and then I felt my heart like shake when it happened, and then Tiff looked at me like, I was like, oh no, please.
You're trying to be, you touch your chest?
Yeah.
You guys make eye contact, you're like, oh, be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Being cool.
You know, when like in a movie, you know, like the monster is behind you and you look like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly the type of look that she made towards me. And I was like, in a way, I was relieved it wasn't me having to squat like 2 minutes from now, in a way.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, she experienced that.
Yeah.
So
That's
Heather,
true.
it will be the first time she experiences that, and we have that over her, I would say. So yeah, I'll be confident, 100%.
For you, you're an athlete, you're also a coach. In terms of, I know you're confident. You're confident as an athlete, you're confident as a coach in how you've prepped your athletes. But when it comes to the anxiety of performance and failing, is it easier to fail yourself, have failed, but then you're letting your fans down, you're letting yourself down, you're letting your loved ones down?
Yeah.
Or if your athlete fails and you're like, God damn it, like, now you feel like, did I fail you? Did I not? Could I have, especially if you're handling, then you handled, was my attempt selection on point? Programmed, you're like, was my programming on point this session? I did something different. Like, what's more anxiety ridden for you? Because both are pressure cooker for different reasons.
For sure. I would say with the athletes that I work with, usually I always like to have a dialogue with them. Always, like whether it's programming, whether it's game day, whatever. So, for example, with programming, I'll tell Tiff everything that we're going to do and why. I'll give reasoning, etc. And then she's able to give me a feedback on like, yeah, I'm cool with that plan, or no, I'm not cool with that for that reason. So at the end of the day, it's not as if I'm imposing something to her. It's like, this is what I think is best for us. If you're willing to go that route with me, then cool. And we do the same on midday. So she squats, I'm like, okay, I think you have that in you. Do you agree? And then, that's how we work. And now Tiff has a lot of experience, and I have a lot of experience with her too. So we know each other very well. So I would say if tomorrow Tiff like maybe misses a squat or deadlift, etc., I'll be bummed, but I won't be like, oh, I failed her, because we're in this together. Like when we win together. When we lose together. So I would say not as much with the coaching side for that reason, because I never do like, oh, you're going to do this. I want you to squat that. It's always like a conversation. So that's why I don't have that anxiety of failure, I would say. So I would say I have it a bit more as an athlete than a coach for that reason.
I thought you were going to say, when we win, it's me. When we lose, it's her. That's what I always say on my recaps.
I think sometimes it's easier to be this kind of coach.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
That's definitely not the type of coach that I aim to be.
What about Brutus?
Yeah.
What do you think about the future for Brutus? He's been with you 4 years. I still remember, it's hilarious, one of the first silent workouts I did with you guys, I had a picture of me and Brutus, and he was wearing like a suit, and he was like interviewing me with a microphone, and he was like way more slender. Still like a built dude, but way more slender. And he was just kind of getting into powerlifting. And now the guy is a freaking colossus.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like a really, have I seen him? I mean, he can be way in the back, and you see him from like 30 feet away.
Yeah.
But he's huge, absolutely huge now. He posted up 932 and a half. And I remember back in 2022, Istanbul, it was Junior Worlds, and he was like telling me his goals.
Yeah.
And his total was nowhere close to where his goals were.
Absolutely not, yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, yeah, I want to be at like Open Worlds. I want to be representing France. I want to be in the mix. I want to be, and I'm like, God, but that's what everybody says. And he's such a nice guy. And he has a huge online following, what he could bring to the sport. If you meet him in real life, it is literally like a guy walked out of a Marvel movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you would think like if he shows up at Worlds, people are like, oh my God. If he shows up at a meet and greet, people are like, oh my God. So it's perfect. If he actually makes it. So he's got the social media, super nice guy. He's got the literal presence, the online presence and physical. But it's like, if he can just pull it together and make it. And what he just did yesterday with 932 and a half, all of a sudden, he might be a few kilos away from going to the Open World Championships and fulfilling this.
Yeah. It's bittersweet because, so since the moment we started together, Brutus told me, I'm serious about this stuff. But he was doing stuff that weren't in alignment with what he was saying. Like, for example, he was prepping for a meet. He went to some like vacations and he couldn't train properly for a week. And then after coming back, he competes and he bombed out. It was a silent worker event, by the way. He bombed out on bench.
I was there.
Bench.
Yeah.
And so, at this moment, I told him, hey, I'll be honest with you, if you're that serious about that, you're not going to make it this way. You have to adjust things, you have to make sacrifices, and that's exactly what he did. He made a lot of sacrifices, and he's been training like powerlifting top athlete for, I would say, 2 solid years now. And, sometimes he was missing, sometimes he was making, but he really wasn't able to bring everything on the platform. And when we were in Quebec, like some weeks ago, we both did like a very, very good training session together. He did 920, that's where I did 716 training for the first time ever. And we just, during those weeks in Quebec, it just was everything about powerlifting. We were getting up, eating, getting ready for training, going to train, doing his recovery stuff, doing everything right. And seeing a guy who started was, like you said, a lot of dreams, but wasn't really able to like make moves towards that dream. Now seeing him almost be there and have and having been fortunate enough to be in his corner since like the first day, I'm like, that's very, very cool. Like first training we did ever, he squatted 240. Yesterday he did 320. He benched 185, I think. Yesterday he benched 232.5.
Yeah.
And he deadlifted, I think he missed 300 or barely made 300, but I think he missed it. And yesterday he did 380.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's got monster lifts now.
I'm like,
he's a monster now.
And like you said, like he's on top of everything else, like social media presence, like he's a monster in real life, etc. He's a very, very loyal, sweet, and caring dude. Like he's showing up to all of these Alan Walker events. He's doing a lot of things for us also. So yeah, being able to give back to him, like in the coaching side of things, and help him get stronger, I'm like so proud of him. So yesterday, even though like I was a bit frustrated about my own performance, seeing Tiff hit that, seeing Brutus hit that. There's also another guy that I coach, like more of a social media influencer. He hit his PR.
Which guy was that? Fleck?
Yeah, Fleck.
Yeah.
So, and Fleck is in the situation that Brutus was like some years ago. He's like really wanted to. He wants to get stronger, but not quite doing everything that's right for. So, yeah, and I really want to say, I think in 2 months, so French Nationals, Brutus will be able to really battle it out and be able to represent France, like at Euros, Worlds, and I'll be very, very happy.
How crazy would that be, having Brutus at Worlds competing?
Yeah.
It'll be nuts.
Yeah.
And also France putting in the bid for 2028 Paris in a stadium.
That would be amazing. That would really be amazing. And my goal is to be able to make the team. And I don't think it will be my last Worlds, but one of the last. One of the last.
We'll see.
We'll see, but I'll definitely shoot for that. So if I can qualify for that and make like podium in the 74s.
What would make you even contemplate possibly like one of the last? Are you feeling like are you getting to the point now at 30 years old and having like won world championships, Sheffield's, helped other people win world championships. Now you're in another weight class, so you're going to go all the way through it all over again. So if you start hitting podium in a new weight class as well, and you're like, my God, like, and you start being in contention now, like you said, stick around long enough and keep firing, your day's gonna hit. Are you like we said, like the Heather Connor Turbo Tiff, everyone's invincible until that wily veteran has a moment.
Yeah.
Like, are you thinking, if I get that, it's my time to leave? Are you thinking I can't do this forever?
So I'm thinking I sacrificed a lot for powerlifting, and in a way it has given me a lot too. So I don't want to complain about that, but it's more so I don't have like family life. I don't have any kids. I know some powerlifters can have kids and train and be strong. Like we have the example with Jurins, for example, and Taylor recently, etc.
Park just had a kid.
Oh yeah, Perk just had a kid. And I think we all are different, and I know this for myself. I need to be focused 100% on one thing. And if I have kids, I'm afraid that I won't make all of the necessary sacrifices to be the best powerlifter I can be. So for example, if tomorrow, like when I lost Worlds in 2024, I was able to look at myself in the mirror and be like, I tried everything. I didn't like miss a single training session. I didn't like skip a back off because of this, because I have to pick my kids at school, etc. I tried everything. And I know that I won't be able to leave this sport at peace if I don't look at myself in the mirror being like, for all of those years, I tried everything. And that's what maybe will make me question if I want to continue powerlifting. Like, again, I'm not talking now. It's like maybe 5 years, 6 years from now.
Yeah.
We don't know, but that would be one of the reasons.
Do you know why Taylor Atwood isn't a 4-time world champion in the 74s instead of a 3? Because Taylor Atwood, his son was being born.
Exactly, yeah.
And he decided, it was around that time.
Exactly.
And I told Taylor, I promise you, if your son is anything like me, I would, if he was a grown-ass man and able to tell you, I would be like, Dad, get that fucking medal, man.
Yeah,
I won't remember.
Yeah.
Just tell me you were there. I don't give a shit.
I agree.
Or tell me you won't. I don't care. Let me see your medal. Tell me the story. We're all good. But anyways.
And you know, actually, when that happened, we had the conversation at the gym.
What?
Yeah.
You and Taylor?
No, like us ourselves. When we knew that Taylor wouldn't compete because of that, we asked ourselves. Like I asked Steve, like, what would you do? What would you do? So, you know, it was funny to see. And you know, I'll be honest with you. I think I would have done the same thing as Taylor.
As knock on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
me too, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
My lawyer's in the room here.
Yeah. My lawyer is not here, but yeah, I think I would have done the same. I wouldn't have gone because, yeah, okay, obviously the son, he'll tell you what you said. Dad, go for it.
I
Don't
swear
worry.
to God, I'm not even being funny. If my dad was in that position, I'd be like, Dad, go to the fucking Olympics, go to the World Championships, go to nationals. I don't give a shit. Let mom do her damn thing. And my mom would be different. My mom would be like, I bet you no, you will not. But for me, don't worry about it.
But then as a dad, I'm like, imagine my son is getting born into this world and I'm not here for that first second.
This is true. I know. That's true. And then you could be, and it's also the ultimate sacrifice that they always know you made a huge, not the ultimate sacrifice, but a huge sacrifice that like every time throughout their entire life they'll know. And then also, you also have every disagreement. You don't give me this, you don't give me that. I gave you my fourth fucking medal. What do you want from me? I gave you everything, my legacy.
Hey Taylor, if you're looking at it, now you have one.
Owen knows, I know, fuck, powerlifters, get off my back. For his whole life, if Owen ever meets a powerlifter, be like, you cost your dad fourth. You cost him a fourth. It's got to be said. I swear to God, you're a great kid. I love you, but you cost your dad 4 minutes.
Imagine like if Owen goes, Dad, that's enough. And he goes, no, that's not enough.
That's not enough.
I gave you my fourth world title. It will never be enough.
I will get six-pack on the phone right now, and Pana as well, and we'll call them.
Oh, by the way, I just want to give a huge shout out because you know this really made me emotional because when you reposted my total like 760, Taylor's dad commented on the King of the Lift post.
Taylor's dad? What did he say?
He said like some really, really nice things.
No
because,
kidding.
You know, the thing is, I'll try to not be emotional. It has been a long weekend. I'm tired, so I'll do my best. But so in 2023, so Taylor's dad was there, but my dad was there too. And so, you know, obviously I'm the biggest Taylor Atwood fan. So when my dad showed up, so that was the year I won Worlds. I told my dad, hey dad, this guy, he's my favorite powerlifter of all time, etc.
Really?
And you know, and his dad was there. So I actually like introduced my dad to Taylor and to his dad. And so they exchanged some obviously my dad wasn't able to speak, but they exchanged some words, etc. And so he said, my dad actually sent me a message and was like, oh, I was really happy to meet Taylor and his dad, etc. So we shared some moments. And you know, this year was weird because for me it was the highest high because I just won and Taylor just lost. So he was with his dad in his loss and I was with my dad in my win. And you know, I really wouldn't be able to like put words on that moment, but it was special. And so Taylor's dad commented something like along the lines of like, hey, you're a great kid, your dad would be proud of you, etc.
No
shit. Yeah, so I really want to give a shout out to Scotty for that because it really means a lot to me.
Isn't that like, even just that story, like a small glimpse of what life is?
Yeah.
Like you're high and Taylor's on his low, but this is gonna be life. And you have his back when you're high, like back and forth, right? Is what you do.
Taylor will always be my GOAT. Like, that's not questionable. You know, I can't remember, I think I was talking about it with another athlete backstage. Yeah, with Antoine Garcia, you know, the 59, the French, world champion, 59.
Yeah.
So I can't remember why, but he goes, oh, if 1 year you're able to get Ross to this Iron Walker meet, sign me in. Like he goes.
Taylor?
No. Antoine said if Russ is in participating in a meet, prime time, I want to be there. I want to compete with Russ on the. And I go, oh, I didn't know you were like such Russ fan. He goes, oh, right now, like the new generation, they have their Perkins, they have their Joey B. For us, it's Russ, Taylor, etc. So you know, I was like, oh, that's it's almost different generational goats, quote unquote, you know what I mean? So yeah, Taylor, I have like, he will always be a special athlete to me because he inspired me a lot when I started. And on top, like this story, being able to share that with him on that year with his dad and me with my dad, it really was special.
And Taylor's one lifter, and like I think yourself as well. When I think about eras, so coming out of COVID, like pre-COVID, Taylor won 2019, best lifter, blah, blah, blah. Cool. In like 2018 as well, so he did his thing pre-COVID. Post-COVID though, there was an era.
Oh yeah.
At Worlds, there was an era there of like you, Taylor, Russ. He won 2021, went to USAPL and was like the flag bearer over in the USAPL, and there was like an era there. Jesus was, and still is, but in that era, there was a cast of characters, Leah Bavois. Like there was like living legends in this era. Now, a lot of these people are still here, obviously. I'm just saying it won't be quite the same. Like that era, I think like now, you don't know you're in an era until it's past.
Exactly.
Until that door closed.
Exactly.
And then even though the same people are here, you and Russ have moved up. Leah, I'm not sure if she's going to 63, 69, whatever.
She's going to 63.
Is she? Okay, there we go. Thank you very much.
And she's doing nationals.
Oh, wow. Okay,
It will be her comeback.
Wow, holy shit. Okay, let's talk about that in 1 second. So now that era has come to a close, you realize, fuck, like you can probably realize it too. And it honestly probably feels semi-good, both you and Russ, I had this conversation with Russ, to be able to close the book on that and be like, you know what, now it's the time to move up.
Yeah, I agree.
And to try to stretch, sometimes what we do as people, you have a good thing and you can't accept when that good thing comes to an end and you stretch it too long and that good thing starts getting shit.
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
like, okay, great. Now you're stomping on the carpet with your shoes. You should have wiped them off.
I agree.
And so close the book and know when to move on. And then moving on, look at there's plenty more left.
There's a new chapter to write, you know.
100%.
This chapter is closed, but there's a new one to write. And, you know, I feel so fortunate to have been able to be part of that chapter, because when I started powerlifting, I was just a skinny kid who just wanted to get stronger and bigger.
Yeah.
And so knowing that I have my name up there with those legends, I'm the proudest, but also I feel like the luckiest man alive. But it's the end of one chapter, but a new chapter has to be written right now.
Do you think when you look back at that, because you were in the mix in all these worlds, even 2022, when like you were off podium, you were in the mix though.
Yeah, I did fifth, I think.
Yeah, you're in the mix constantly. Like you were battling for podium. And obviously 2024 was like the best battle I've ever seen, period, at a Worlds. Are we getting told to bounce?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. All right. The only person who could do that to you was Anissa in this building. Everyone else, but when you look back at that era, is there any regrets for that era that you wish you would have done, or what do you think? If there's one regret.
There's just one, and it will be my regret forever. I think I talked about it. So it's not going for 2.5 more on my second deadlift at Worlds 2024. I told the staff that I had maybe just one pull in me because of injury, and they wanted to secure the podium and not try to go for the win. And maybe those 2.5 would have changed something, and maybe I would have been 3 times world champion instead of 2. Maybe not. We'll never know. And that's my biggest regret. And because, you know, I talked about it, but I was sure this would be the last time my dad would be able to watch me compete. And I just wanted to end on a victory in his eyes, at least, you know. So that's definitely my biggest regret. I'll grow over it eventually over the years. I haven't yet.
As a whole, not just that moment, but as a whole, moving from the 66s, are you at peace with your 66 kilo career?
100%. Yeah. I'm at peace. I tried everything. Like I said, you know, for me, I'm not too bothered about failures or losses as long as I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, I gave it my absolute best shot. There's nothing else I could have done. And that's exactly the way I'm looking at myself in the mirror with my 66 kilo career. I'm like, I tried everything, I did everything. I accomplished some things that give me this idea of I can leave that to peace, to rest, and focus on the future.
Do you agree that era is 2021 to 2024?
Oh yeah, 2024 is part of it. I would even say 2019 for me.
Would you? Yeah.
Because that's where I got my first L at Worlds, and that's where I discovered, there's levels to this game.
I mean, sorry. For yourself, 66 for sure. I mean the era with like Gavin Aiden, Russell Orhe, like yourself, Taylor.
I agree. 2021, 2024.
And then because I can't explain it, but it feels different now.
Yeah.
All you guys are either moving up or whatever.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
all of you moving up or whatever, but it feels different.
But it's like, since when we didn't have one Worlds where there was Taylor, Russ, Leah, Tiff, Coco,
I can't tell you how this world
Coco,
was.
Jess.
This world was crazy.
You know what I mean? Jess, Agatha.
Yeah.
It hasn't been another Worlds like that.
There's someone else,
yet.
Jessica Bittner, like
Yeah.
in the mix, like whatever. An
Yeah,
era has
100%.
changed.
Yeah.
An
Agreed.
era has changed.
I agree.
Yeah, you can't go back. You can only go forward. However, the next era now has, and this is why, like, instead of like Taylor 74s, there's Perk, Joey B instead of Russ. Like, it's just a new era. It's fine, but it's just different now.
Yeah, I agree.
Looking at Leah, you had mentioned, let's not leave. Oh, dude, we're way past, we're going on an hour, not 20 minutes, but it is what it is. I'll wrap up. But before we do, Leah Bavois, sorry, you were saying she's going 63. She's going to French Nationals. How is she feeling? I know she's shifting weight in. Will she be peaked at French Nationals enough to win and then peak next year? Or?
So, in my opinion, at least now, nobody's close to Leah in France. Whether it's 69 maybe more, but not 63, I don't think so. So I think Leah wants to compete at French Nationals, gain the ticket to Worlds, and then do another go at a world title.
Okay. And is she like 100% or... Because she's come back from injury,
weirdly
right?
enough, it's pretty much like me. Like, her squat is back 100%, but not her deadlift. I would say my deadlift, like right now, is closer to 100% than hers. But she's getting there. But she's improved on her bench.
Okay.
She's improved on her bench,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is like
When your
unheard
body-
of.
yeah.
Unheard of, but she's improved a lot on her bench.
Yeah.
So I think with like the ground she covered on bench, even if she doesn't get back to 100% deadlifts for French Nationals, I think she'll still be able to put up a pretty solid total.
Tons of time by June. I mean, you
Yeah,
make
yeah.
French Nationals.
Yeah.
All she has to do is really just win Nationals. You
Exactly.
got half a
Yeah,
year
yeah,
after that to
exactly.
relax
Yeah.
and make it. And Silent Worker, a little something for the future. We're at Silent Worker right now. By the way, I'll just say this is the best Silent Worker I've ever been to. Thank you again for bringing me out. It is my honor every time. It is a freaking blessing to be able to do these things. Like, I love it. And this was by far the best Silent Worker that I've ever seen. I think moving it back to Paris was a phenomenal idea. The crowd was absolutely amazing. It was like a rock concert when people had their phones up and the lights on. What's the future for Silent Worker, sir?
So we would like to do, so these events are actually special to us, so we would like to try to have them in different countries. So we actually have the first International Silent Worker event in Ireland in March, I think. And then the goal ideally is to have some other around the world. So Switzerland is also on our plans, maybe Quebec, like we said.
That'd be phenomenal.
That would be great. So the goal is to have that. And, oh, sorry about that.
You're probably getting told, where the hell are you? We're packing up.
Yeah, so the goal is to have different events in different countries. So have a regular meet where people can just come and compete. So if you're from Ireland or other countries, get ready because you'll be able to experience the Silent Worker meet. And then ideally we want to have some primetime sessions in those countries as well. And hopefully our ultimate goal is to have almost like a finals primetime here in Paris. That's the goal.
So if you did a Silent Worker in Quebec, first off, like French speaking, and if it's Montreal, which is a huge
that would be
city,
that would be the goal.
and it's close enough to the U.S. border that Americans can come.
Yeah, that would be great.
You have Canada, America, North America's got one, couple in Europe, and then of course the pinnacle. You want to be the champ. I don't know how you got time to think about how you want to roll this out. But if it's like Grand Prix along the year, so different people can end up on this at this Silent Worker to make this prime time, and this is where we rumble with like people from all over the world. That's the goal. Phenomenal.
That's the goal, because we also want some lifters to experience that, lifting in front of, like we said, I think yesterday we were between 600 and 800, I would say. We really want some lifters to be able to experience that, because even sometimes at Worlds you have 100 people in the crowd and sometimes even less than that. So unless you do Sheffield or like an Arnold or something like that, you don't get to compete in front of a crowd like that as a powerlifter. And we really want to, for as many people possible, to be able to experience that. So definitely that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy ruckus too. They're a lively crowd, to say the least.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Actually, you know what? I think I had you for like an hour and a half. Like, this is crazy. I'm sorry I kept you so long, but we got to hang out afterwards.
For sure.
Thank you very much. And for everybody watching, as per usual, please do like, subscribe, and until next time, 6-pack Lapidat, 6 up, and we are out.
Oh, that was.
Oh, yeah.